The drums of war thunder once again.
Hello and welcome back. My name is Dello and this is part 2 of my WoW Classic RFC dungeon run. Today I am answering all of your questions from various sources, including part 1 of this video. If you haven't had a chance yet to watch it, go back and watch that one first and check it out. Also, if you have any new questions, pop them in the comments here and I'll answer them as well. Now, let's get started. Fenris on dualboxing.com asks, I'm super interested to know what you think your pros cons of your party are. Deciding on which DPS to take with me is the hard part. G'day there, Fenris. This is a great question, and I have thought a lot about it over the past month or two. I even did testing on a private server with a very mixed class team which included melee DPS and range DPS. I put some more footage of this testing up on this channel, so you can check that out also. I've chopped and changed a bit on my comp, but this is what it came down to for me. I really like the holy trinity of classic WoW classes, warrior, mage, priest. And I like that combo for a lot of reasons. I want my main in classic to be a warrior, as I feel it's just the best tanking class in the game. That's my opinion. It has all the tools you need, with a good taunt, oh shit buttons like shield wall and last stand. The other classes for tanking do interest me though. I can't wait to see some of the AoE stuff other multi-boxers can do with the Prot Pally and just how viable it is. I may even play one in my next group to 60, and I've done a druid on a private server, and they are good with swipe for holding aggro on multiple targets, but they just frustrate me in other ways, like having to come out of bear to drink a pot, and having no real oh shit button like the warriors have. The 3 DPS spots are where I am least convinced. I definitely want a mage in there, and now I am pretty much settled on triple mage I think. The AoE abilities and the fact that you can have 3 sheeps is just very appealing to me. The hunted dead zone really annoyed me when I played on a private server, doing some multi-boxing on there, and melee DPS is difficult. That's not to say it isn't good though, and again, in my next run through to 60, I may include some melee DPS. I thought a lot about adding a balanced druid to the mix, but in the end I felt it was just a bad mage and probably wants a lot of the same gear that a mage wants anyway. Don't get me wrong, I do love druids, and they do have a place in the game. I just don't feel they are great in this multi-boxing comp. If I was Horde, I would probably toss in an elemental shaman, as I do love shamans. But those class quests and the totems take a long time. I've gone with priest as my healer, as I mained a priest all the way back in 2005 and rated everything but nax on him. As well as being the nostalgia choice, I also think they are the best healer for multi-boxing, with the AoE heals they have and all the other assets that they can bring. I had a holy pally on a private server multi-box team, and it was good, I just prefer the priest. I don't want a druid, as it has no actual res apart from the battle res. The biggest con of this party is that you have 4 cloth spellcasters, so getting gear for all of them is much slower, and a lot of the good loot that would drop, that would go to a rogue or a hunter for example, is going to be wasted. I'm going to link 2 threads in the description that have a lot of discussion and from other points of view on this topic as well. There are so many options, and although there might be some that are easier than others, it's going to be a blast to see what people can do with their multi-box teams. And in the end, I suggest choose the classes that you want to play and that feel like they're going to be fun to you. Zal on dualboxing.com asks, are you using MiRai's Pro system or a more simplified version of it? If you did a simple version to do your click healing, would you be able to briefly go over it? Hi Zal. Firstly, MiRai is a multi-boxing legend who has his own YouTube channel called Multiboxology, and it is brilliant with so many amazing guys that have helped me over many years. I will link it in the description and shout out to MiRai if you are watching. I have parts of MiRai's Pro setup, but I do try to keep it fairly simple myself. My healing setup on the video is very simply WoW's standard raid frames and the add-on click. That, in conjunction with IS Boxer and the repeater region setup, is all I'm using here. When Classic really gets going and we start getting to some of the harder dungeons towards the end game, I'll probably have a more advanced setup done. But I just started this on the stress test and wanted to get going fairly quickly, so I can set this up pretty quickly and also intend to do that on Classic release for the early dungeons. I've had this question a few times now as well, so what I want to do is do a quick video on how I set up my click healing with the raid frames, with Iceboxer. The exact same setup is done on retail, so I can get some footage from there and whip something up. I hope to have that out in the next day or two. VPX on dualboxing.com stated, "You're wasting a lot of time killing them one by one, instead of just using AE. Hi VPX. This was more of a statement than a question, but we had a good chat about it on the dualboxing forums. So my mages had pretty bad gear going into this run, and I tried to do some group AoE pulls on another run, and was running out of mana very quickly before the mobs were actually dying. So it wasn't viable for me at this time. I ended up using single target killing, as you can see throughout the video. Now VPX stated that he got to a point on the stress test where he was able to run RFC about 15 times, and he was doing it mostly through AoE pulls. With decent gear and a larger mana pool, this is a great strategy and can definitely be done and take a lot of time off your runs for faster XP. I suggest when dungeon farming, look at this method as an option, but be careful because when pulling a lot of mobs and doing AE pulls, if it goes a little bit wrong, it's much easier to wipe. Mickle on Reddit asks, what are the reasons that draw you to the concept of multiboxing, and what do you think is the future of its place in WoW? Hi Mickle. I multibox mostly because I love the challenge of being a tank, all the DPS and a healer at the same time in a dungeon run. I've also done this in Wrath of the Lich King with 10 characters and raiding, and that gets very full on very quickly. For Classic, I'm happy with the challenge of a 5-man team. There's also only one 10-man raid, which is Ubers. Multiboxing has been around for a long time now, and is pretty much ingrained in the game, and has large communities built around it, such as, the dualboxing.com forums. When I saw videos back in the day of legends such as Theoden and Mercurio doing ICC, doing some of those hard, difficult bosses, with the multiboxing team, I thought that was incredible. And the way they did some of those fights was really ingenious and took a lot of strategies that were different to what the actual 10 individual players were doing in their runs of ICC. Looked like a lot of skill, looked like a lot of fun. I wanted to be involved in it. I think with the community doing things like that and moving forward, it's just going to be always a part of WoW. Fuzzy on YouTube asks, exactly what I'm planning to do in Classic, and I have a question. I can't find anyone talking about it on the dualboxing forums. PvE or PvP server? Hi Fuzzy. I think PvE or PvP is purely a personal preference. Personally, I'm going to be playing PvE because the main thing I want to do is dungeons on my team. Going around one-shotting randoms with a bunch of pom-pyros doesn't really do it for me, and I think it's a bit lame, but that's just my opinion. When Battlegrounds come out, I'll most likely be participating in them with one character at a time. Now for things like the big battles of South Shore versus Tarren Mill, where it's like 50 of 50 on each faction and it's just all hell breaking loose, that can be a bit of fun as a multi-boxer, I would say. Throwing fireballs from across the other side with a bunch of your guys, that's pretty cool. One thing I really like about a PvE server is that when I'm going around leveling with my team and L60 comes across and wipes my team out, I won't get corpse camped by him just because he has this irrational hatred for multi-boxers. Because I'm on a PvE server, he can't kill me to begin with. Gabor Petlansky on YouTube asks, I'm planning to do the same setup in Classic. Do you have any guides you could recommend for this setup? Hi Gabor. The most info I can give you is my answer to the very first question in this video, and also to check out the forums thread on this exact comp, which is in the description. In terms of method of playing this composition, just check out what I'm doing in this video, and in the future videos that I plan to do also with this composition. I plan to run through pretty much every dungeon in Classic, and I also plan to do future videos on all of those runs. When Classic comes out, I'll be Alliance, so next video up will be Dead Mines. CLS God on YouTube asks, I'm doing the exact same team on Horde as well. We'll be interested in the dungeon vids, and can you show me how to set up a good click heal on the main account? Hi CLS God, great to have you in the multi-boxing community. As I mentioned in my answer for Zell's question a little bit earlier, I'll have a video tutorial up on doing this in the next couple of days, so hang tight and keep an eye on the channel. And now for my last question. Shun on YouTube asked, How much slower is it leveling a 2-man comp or a 5-man comp compared to playing a single character? Hushin, good question. With a 2-man group, it's not that much different. Although the collection quests can take twice as long because you need twice as many drops. You also need to do things like go to 2 different class trainers if you're playing more than one class. That can slow it down a bit. But the fact is you will have less downtime, kill mobs much faster, and finish your quests faster. So it evens out pretty much. 5-man teams, I feel, are a bit slower than leveling one character. You have to do a lot of collection quests. There's some quests you can't do. There's class quests that are out of the way. You have to go to potentially 5 different class trainers. All that stuff adds time. But you get to do dungeons by yourself. And that's what I enjoy most about multiboxing. So I'd just like to thank everyone out there. Since I made the channel, it's been great feedback, great questions, great interaction. I'm very happy with how it's going so far and hope to be doing much more of these as Classic is released. So again, I'd just like to say that I appreciate it and it really makes me feel like doing these videos is worthwhile. As I stated, the healing tutorial I want to do will be coming out in the next day or two. Please keep an eye out for it, please like and subscribe, and there will be plenty more content coming before Classic is released, and a hell of a lot more after it's released. So there we have it. That's all of the questions you guys have given me answered. Hopefully the answers have been decent and you get something out of it. Please leave me more questions, comments. I'm more than happy to answer them for you. As there's nothing else for this video, I will play you out with some nice music and you can watch the end of the run. I'm Dello. Bye for now.
Sometimes I say that I want you back, but I don't know if I do. Sometimes I sing about the good days we had, but there were bad days too. And I know love is like the phases of the moon. And I know you would say I gave up way too soon. So it's gone, now we both moved on. Oh, that's la la life, that's la la life. Baby, let it be, enjoy the memory. Oh, that's la la life, that's la la life. Na na na, 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 the phases of the moon. Sometimes I say that I want you back, but I don't know if I do. Sometimes I sing about the good days we had, but there were bad days too. And I know love is like the phases of the moon. And I know you would say I gave up way too soon. So it's gone, now we both moved on. Oh, that's la la life, that's la la life. Baby, let it be, enjoy the memory. Oh, that's la la life, that's la la life. Na na na, na na na.